Hello good people of the world and welcome to another video. I'm the gaming psychologist, but feel free to just call me GP. Now, I saw a video recently, its message was loud and clear, and truth be told, it was kind of depressing. If you're a depressed 40-something man who plays video games all day in your parents' basement, then this might be just the sort of shit to push you over the edge. The film gave the impression that video games are a waste of life, a lonely endeavour that results in isolation and sadness, that those that play are destined to be introverted and alone, and that their social exclusion and unhappiness are a direct result of video game influence. Suffice to say, I don't share or agree with the point the film was trying to make. I actually felt the stereotypes portrayed are outdated and hugely inaccurate, and that mobile games offering microtransactions are much more addictive and much more of a problem than video games ever were. Yet, for whatever reason, despite huge advancements in technology and a much wider demographic, video game stereotypes like the one the film alluded to, like geek and socially awkward, are still associated with particular video game brands and characters. Except now the terms that are used have evolved to be more detrimental in their impact. For example, I'm sure you've heard terms like cringe and fag and weebo and autistic all being thrown around on the internet on an almost daily basis. Sometimes these terms are justified and used in context, but mostly they are used to describe mild eccentricity or people just trying to get noticed. Unfortunately, and particularly on YouTube, mob mentality then leads to people being ridiculed and sometimes slandered beyond all reasonable measure, destroying any credibility that they may have once had, which can leave lasting psychological scars. Thing is, we are all different, and thank God. The world would be a very boring place if we all followed the same set of guidelines, and if YouTube has taught me anything, it's given me a good understanding and insight into what people really think on the inside. The unanimous dislike option and comment box, for example, gives people of any age, any mental capacity, any reason whatsoever to voice their internal opinion without risk of backlash, which can be a brutal, but at least it's an honest, opinion. It shows the real, uninhibited views people have and how unforgiving and relentless some people can be towards those that don't fit into the social norm. And perhaps, ironically, a lot of these people who are poked fun at are the most interesting. See, when I read the comments and watch some of the more eccentric videos, it's here where I see unique personalities and individuality. It's made me aware of the many people out there that do enjoy video games and the types of people they really are. And many of them, when you actually look further than an out-of-context cringe clip that has already labelled their whole existence, you might see that they're not obese, socially awkward, four-eyed basement dwellers, but just ordinary Joes with a passion for their hobby. Some of which have self-awareness and lives outside of video games, and they are just people like you and me. In fact, many have made their success through their energetic and adrenaline-filled personas, fueled by the confidence of less harsh bandwagoners, and not the type I see almost everywhere else who eat up society's viewpoint like sheep do grass. There are fanatics in this world, of course there are, but I think it's more to do with their genetic makeup and mental ability than their environmental factors. I guess what we need to eschew here is how addictive video games actually are, and if their hook can change otherwise ordinary people into fat basement dwellers with no comprehension of acceptable social behaviour. And without going into a detailed case study of the causes and effects of addiction, it is, in a nutshell, a feeling of euphoria. Given in short doses, it becomes less and less effective and eventually results in the person attempting more extreme methods to achieve the same results. There are cases out there where people have become so helplessly addicted they have ignored their responsibilities and in rare cases, literally played themselves to death. The media then focuses heavily on these exceptional cases and drums in the idea, or rather brainwashes those unable to see outside of the box, that this sort of thing happens all the time, over and over, further label slapping people with an already tarnished stereotype. How many of you feel comfortable catching an Egyptian air flight now? I'm genuinely interested to know, despite the fact that there's loads of flights going up and down safely every single day, what would you do? Would you catch a flight? What do you think about British football fans? Are they all violent hooligans that can't wait to get into a scrap? Of course not. There are hundreds and thousands of calm, well-mannered fans that far outweigh people like this. Unfortunately, many people, when presented with footage like this, don't have the imagination and understanding to see the full picture, associating this minority with the whole demographic, because the media focuses on the most cancerous, most tragic, most evil segments of life with such intensity, it gives a warped perception of what's really going on. Tell me, did you ever contract swine flu? Or Ebola? Has an English football fan ever started on you? Did the world end at the end of 2012? Use your head. Study the world you are in and form your own opinion. I'm not saying the media lies about everything, they don't,
but they do frequently give one side of the story and use manipulative editing and wording to beef up events and make things sound more dramatic and frightening. And sometimes, it's sad, but in desperation, people and the media do just outright lie. So don't just read one side of the story and make up your mind. Listen to both. Look at the facts. Look at the probabilities. Use your own damn intuition. Don't just watch one video and make a conclusion. Watch many. Don't just read one article. Read many. Think! Because a lot of people out there clearly don't. If the full story isn't to be told truthfully and honestly, then the creators are either irresponsible or manipulators. Or both. The manipulators are the worst as they twist and humiliate to get further in their career. And a lot of the time, it's because we allow them to. Seduced by their brand, their charisma, their ability to break down psychological walls through humour and confidence and presentation, means we give them our loyalty and trust, and ultimately fall for their deception. And it's here where they use their power to attack other humans, some of them even innocent, further fueling these already exaggerated stereotypes and further dividing us.
Now, humans love entertainment. We love books, films and drama. It's part of who we are. That's never gonna change. So, as a fellow human, I suggest we are more thoughtful in our understanding. Don't do to others what you wouldn't want done to yourself. Put yourself in their shoes, their situation, and you will begin to understand, not necessarily condone, but understand how they have become who they are. Then you will see they are people and not labels. No one deserves to be defined by a label we sling on them, because we are all, every single one of us, different. You define an individual by what they are, which is an individual. From the very beginning, it's a roll of the dice. My eye colour, my skin colour, my hair colour, things I've inherited, things I have no control over. But these things, these genetics, this blueprint that makes up who I am, it's not just visual. It includes the way I move, the way I speak, the way my brain is wired. It's my personality, it's my thoughts. I have no choice but to be who I am. A guy who philosophizes over life and plays countless hours of video games. I'm a product of chance. My successes in this world heavily dictated by my own blueprints. So how can I really be any different to who I am? How can anyone? Yes, environmental factors play a role, absolutely. But my eye colour can't be changed by my environment any more than the wiring in my brain can. It plays a role, but it's not cemented in the way that our genes are. I am programmed by my own genes. It forms up who I am right now, and the decisions I'm more likely to make, and the life I'm more likely to lead. My traits, my everything. A blueprint of design. And when I look back at my short existence, when I remember the digital worlds I have explored, the stories that have inspired me, when I'm reminded that I was who I was always meant to be, then I have done myself proud, because I have been honest with myself. I've accepted my blueprints and I have reached acceptance in this world of intolerance. And something tells me that it's all going to be okay. And that's how I know not to feel as if I've wasted my life, because my understanding of this world has only been enriched by my imagination, inspired by the storytelling of other people, and presented in a medium I'm able to interact with. And that medium just happens to be video games. More so than viewing a timeline, more so than reading a tweet. To explore the imagination of others reminds me how fantastical our abilities as human beings are, as individuals. Not as labels or as groups or as companies, but as individuals who have put their hearts and souls into these creative products, and then we absorb those creative products and are able to explore them in our own creative way. You know, you might think I'm going off on a tangent now, and I probably am. You probably think I'm just outright crazy or something, but the individuality that I see in others, in myself, the differences of who we are, makes me think that we are built differently for a reason, that we all have a role to play in this world, that we are built for specific things. I don't know why, but, and I might be completely wrong, but that compulsion I have inside of me to follow my heart is really, really strong. That blueprint inside of me that defines who I am has a switch to a fire, and it burns within me every time I do something creative or enjoy my hobbies. It tells me to be happy with who I am. It tells me to be kind and considerate of others, to be thoughtful to all the many different innocent quirks and characteristics we have as humans. I will stand strong and fight against injustice, immorality, and the cruelty of innocent people that are just being themselves, because that is what I believe my heart is beating for. That is what I believe is right. And that is why I know that films like this have no psychological bearing on me whatsoever, and they shouldn't on you either.
And that their message is pandering to the pressures of stereotypical nonsense created by ignorant and manipulative people. Let's stop dividing people. Let's be kind and accept others from all different walks of life who have different beliefs, backgrounds and quirks. And remember, we can only be who we are. Go out into the world and embrace who you are, whether that be a brain surgeon or someone who collects stamps. It doesn't matter. Just be you. Thanks for watching. This is the GP, signing off.